to the next article. Okay, the next topic is a article by Screen Rant. It says Hilary Duff has optimistic perspective on Lizzie McGuire reboot possibilities. The first time they tried, they wanted a darker tone, and Disney didn't like it. So, I mean, hopefully they make it a lighter tone and Disney gives them a chance. But the article says Hilary Duff gives an optimistic perspective on the dormant Lizzie McGuire reboot. Back in August 2019, a revival of Lizzie McGuire was announced as being in the works for Disney+. Duff, who played the eponymous character in the original, was confirmed to reprise her role, and series creator Terry Minsky would be the showrunner. The project was set to focus on Lizzie at the age of 30 while living in an apartment in New York City, but it quickly ran into trouble. Minsky departed as showrunner in January 2020 after the first 2 episodes had been filmed due to creative differences with Disney. And in December of that year, Duff officially shared the news that the Lizzie McGuire continuation would not be happening. During the interview on What Happened Live with Andy Cohen, Buff was asked to elaborate on what went wrong with Lizzie McGuire revival. Buff hesitated in her response for a beat through. She ultimately suggested that there were differences between Disney Plus and the people behind Lizzie McGuire. Nonetheless, in the quote below, via Steven 10, the How I Met Your Father lead was optimistic that she would eventually reprise her memorable role. Says, quote, "Oh, okay, Disney Plus was very new. You know, I think they were like figuring out and we were figuring out our," and she says she's optimistic. How I Met Your Father feels like a Lizzie McGuire reboot. Well, yeah, to be honest. It's a good show. Buff currently stars as Sophie on How I Met Your Father Season 2, a character who is looking for love in a big city. Given that the spin-off of How I Met Your Mother was announced by Hulu on the heels of the Lizzie McGuire reboot being cancelled, it's difficult to look past the similarities, especially when considering both shows would be owned by Disney. There's also the tone of How I Met Your Father, which continues, with its second installment. The humor is very light and mild. having more in common with Lizzie than the sharp and delightfully absurd How I Met Your Mother. It's not to say that Duff's current series doesn't have its charms, though How I Met Your Father Season 2 is noticeably more engaging in the dramatic efforts than its comedic leanings. It seems like a version of what an adult Lizzie might have been. Amusing and warm, though largely watched due to the affinity the audience has for the characters and the desire to tune in as a likable lead like Lizzie McGuire navigates their place in the world. How I Met Your Father has no confirmed connection to the cancelled Lizzie McGuire reboot. It's more a case of timing and the similarities of storytelling approach and pilot. In any reboot, it's more a case of timing and the similarities of storytelling approach and plot. In any case, it speaks to the importance of what Disney regards as its brand. There were reportedly concerns about presenting Lizzie an intimate storyline that involves sex but as a different character. Buff has done what Lizzie McGuire couldn't do with her most recognized role. The actor remains hopeful that could change. I think that's the end of the article. Yeah, that's the end of the article. So I mean, they could do a reboot of that, like, and change it to where it's more chill or something like that. That way Disney would pick it up. But it seems like a cool show, and I'm so far loving How I Met Your Father because I like How I Met Your Mother, the original show that came off of it. It's pretty good, and like the cameos from the original cast is great. But yeah, hopefully Disney picks it up and they get a new exclusive producer or something like that. So tell me what you think. If you watch Lizzie McGuire and it seems like a good idea for them to have a revival like iCarly, I just, hope they don't do it like the iCarly revival because it just feels unnecessary. Like the humor is unnecessary in that show. So hopefully they don't do that.